The Reddit title reads, I'm the one who decided to stay with my cheating wife with conditions. So, firstly, whether it's your wife or someone you're in a relationship with, if someone cheats, leave and never look back. But it sounds like this guy stayed with his wife as long as she met these certain conditions. So, let's read what he has to say. Backstory is that I became suspicious when my wife was going out with co-workers, went from 5 times a year to about 5 times a month or more. Yeah, that's certainly a red flag. If your woman is constantly going out after work, doing these social experiences without you, it's a massive red flag. If she's inviting you along, then great. If not, then there's something going on that she doesn't want you to know about. One day when she texted me that she was going to an after work thing, I went to the car park at her job and put the dog GPS collar in the trunk. Yeah, this guy is rightfully super suspicious about his woman, so he's going extra lengths to find out what's going on. This has probably been an ongoing thing. He probably noticed that she wasn't as interested in him, was very disagreeable, maybe the sex went down, and on top of this, she's going out of her way, changing her routine to go to these social experiences without him. So yeah, alarm bells were ringing, and he was doing some investigating of his own. She drove to an apartment building. I checked all the names on the door and then compared them to the names on her LinkedIn. And sure enough, she had a co-worker who lived there. Yeah, this guy's done his investigating work, and it sounds like it's going to pay off because he's going to catch her in the act. Won't bore you with all the details, but she ended up confessing after I confronted her that night when she got home. A lot of crying, screaming, pleading. It didn't mean anything, yada yada. Then she went and stayed with her parents. She was embarrassed that she got caught. She wasn't sorry for what she did. She doesn't regret it. She probably had great experiences with this co-worker that she's not having with you. And of course she'll do the, oh, look at me, how bad I feel and all this stuff. She'll plead with you to stay with her. And it sounds like she actually made it work because I think they're still together. But yeah, all the crying, all the waterworks. Never fall for it, guys. She wasn't crying when she was with the other man. She was probably screaming with joy. I was set on divorce at first, but every day she gave me, we can fix this, I'll do anything. So she started to get in this guy's head. He should have stayed firm, get the divorce done no matter what the cost, no matter how much misery there would be. Divorce is always the best way to go because you'll be happy in the long run, even if your wallet is struggling soon after the divorce. And that's how it started to grow on me. That was over 3 years ago, so he's been with this woman for 3 years after she was unfaithful to him. I can't imagine that being a comfortable 3 years. It's probably replaying in his mind constantly. In exchange for not filing for divorce for 12 months, the following rules are in place. So maybe she's actually earning more money than him because divorce for women is sometimes a positive. You know, getting half of the man's stuff. Maybe she's the provider, so it looks worse on her regarding divorce. Or she might be religious, but obviously she's not following that religious straight by sleeping with another man behind her husband's back. So these are the rules he's put in place. He's got 11 here. So let's go through one by one. Number one, posting up if she filed or I filed after 12 months. I would get first dibs on the house. It's still 50-50 at the moment. There'll be no alimony and we would keep any personal assets. So why is it just after 12 months? Why have you not done this throughout your relationship? Okay, he's got his legal ducks in order, I guess. No kids. I didn't want kids before this. She was more back and forth. Well, if she does really want kids and you saying in the agreement there'll be no kids, she'll end up resenting you even more because she'll feel like that part of her life isn't fulfilled. But it doesn't sound like she was very set on it anyway. But now he's just completely confirmed it. Yeah, obviously you don't want kids with someone who cheated on you. That's just a terrible idea. And if she does get pregnant, definitely check those DNA results. Third, our old joint bank account is not now my bank account. If I can get my words out. Our old joint bank account is now my bank account. So again, he's just getting his financial ducks in order. I don't really know how important that is because I'm sure she could set up other bank accounts and put money into that so she could spend her own stuff. But hey, he's trying to control the finances. There's nothing wrong with controlling the finances. That should have been in order even before you put these regulations in. When you got married, you should have been controlling the finances from the start anyway. She needs to find a new job and cut off all her old co-workers. So has she not found a new job yet? Because you said it's been about 3 years now. So is she still at that job with those colleagues? Yeah, absolutely. Like she should change job, cut out everybody involved in that, cut out the co-worker she was sleeping with, cut out all the friends that knew about it, cut out all the family members who knew about it, because women love to chat and tell her close friends because they're the ones who's probably telling her to do it, saying, oh yeah, you can do much better, this guy doesn't treat you well, you deserve this, sister, blah de blah de blah. Cut off all her friends who knew about it. Okay, yeah, so he's mentioned that. So he told her you've got to cut off everybody who knew about it. So it sounds like multiple friends knew about it, which is a massive red flag. It shows you her friends lack value as well, and they're probably doing it behind their husband's back. It's very important when you're, getting a relationship with a girl or marrying a girl, is to see what her friends are like, because if her friends sleep around and are bad people, she's going to do that too because, you know, birds of a flock hang out together, don't they? Open relationships on my end only. Okay, this is wild. So he gets to sleep with other women and she's okay with that. So she's really going all out to try and keep this guy. I've only used this a total of 3 times. Last time was over a year ago. He hates online dating, he says. Okay, that's a wild one. Is that going to make her feel more attractive and happy to him, knowing that he's sleeping around? Obviously, even though this woman cheated on him, she does seem to really like him and allowing him to sleep with other people just to make sure he stays. But at the same time, you could say, okay, she's allowing him to have an open relationship. Could also show that she actually doesn't really care about him. She doesn't really care about having him all to herself. Maybe this is more of a financial arrangement over anything else. And maybe she cares about her public image with her family. And if it got out that they're getting divorced because she was unfaithful, maybe she cares about that image. STD tests, one initial for both, every month for her, for me, only if I slept with someone else. However, we don't do these anymore, it was just a pain. You can do home STD tests, which are very quick and painless, so I'll definitely still do STD tests because she was unfaithful to you and you don't know what she's doing behind your back. Of course, you should be doing STD tests after you're going on your open relationship shenanigans. But yeah. She has to share her location on her phone. She should have been doing this before you got married. You should both have each other's location on each other's phone. This should be an easy discussion to have, and that should happen very early on. No going out alone without my consent. Okay, what do you mean by no going out? Like, can she go to the shops without your consent? Like, how far does this go? I get it. No social interactions without you. That makes sense. She was disloyal to you. And even if she wasn't disloyal to you, you should both talk about things about, oh, going out with friends, is that okay? How do you feel? That should be like an open conversation. But does it mean no going out as in she can't leave the house to go shopping? I think that's probably a bit too drastic, but hey, if she's said yes to it, go for it. But at this point, it does sound a bit too controlling, and you'll be careful here because this will come back to bite you. And she could use this and say, let's say she does go for divorce, she could say to her lawyer, she could say to the judge, hey, this guy didn't let me leave the house by myself. That's going to look bad on you, and she's going to end up taking everything that you own. So you've got to be careful there because this does sound a bit too toxic. Even though, yes, I agree, what she did was horrible. But at this point, you should just leave her and have a woman that you trust and just start fresh with someone else. Because she's going to resent you for this, by the way. Number 10, no alcohol. She used to have a problem with day drinking. This wasn't really a factor in her affair. I just took the opportunity to get rid of it. Again, why are you getting married to a woman who has alcohol issues and day drinks? Like, this guy, I'm going to say he deserves everything that he's getting. Like, he did not vet this woman properly. And even if he did vet her and he did know about it, why carry on and get married to her? So she's got a drinking problem, which I think probably did have an impact. She was probably miserable in her relationship. She drank and then she took opportunities to sleep with a work colleague. Um, so she's an alcoholic. She's a cheater. You know, she doesn't make you feel good, and you still decide to marry her. Like, come on, bro. Final one, no complaining about the rules or posting up. Women will complain, and internally she's going to be complaining. Internally, she's going to be telling her friends how much of a horrible guy you are. So, again, you're just dating someone on the incline. Like, this is just going to be an upward struggle up a very steep hill. You're never going to be happy. You're both not going to be happy. You're going to end up resenting each other. And, bro, you're only on this planet for once in your life. And one of the great things about life is connecting with the opposite sex and having a wonderful relationship. And you're not having that. So just leave. This guy obviously has no confidence in himself. He doesn't believe he's going to find a woman better. You'll find a woman better because most women don't cheat. I don't care what the black pill or the manosphere says about how women are all horrible and all they do care about is hypergamy. A lot of women out there do have values and won't cheat on you when things get tough. Yeah, this guy deserves everything he's getting. Obviously, it's a bit more detailed than that, but most of these are the major points. Questions I can imagine getting: are you happy? Yeah, I would say so. He says he still gets pissed when I think about it sometimes, but it fades just as quick. It was much harder in the beginning. So again, this is still eating him up. Every time he looks at his wife or they're having sex, he's thinking about the other guy and how she cheated on him. Why stay in this relationship? Obviously, it still affects you if it comes up still in your head. Of course, it's going to come up still in your head. So why not start something fresh for a brand new woman and starting a new life? I don't care about the divorce. I don't care about how much cost it's going to take. Your most important asset's not your money, but it's your time. And you're wasting your time with a woman who was unfaithful to you. Is she happy? She says she is, and that she doesn't regret it. What, she doesn't regret sticking with you? She doesn't regret sleeping with the co-worker? I don't quite know what he means by that. But is she happy? I don't think she is completely happy. Do you feel controlling? He says yes, he does. Yeah, it is controlling, but you know, she's an adult and she accepted those terms. And she needs to be controlled because obviously she has no values and she can't control herself. But you shouldn't need to control this woman. You should start again with a new woman who you don't need to control, who just knows values and know how to act and knows how to treat you. This woman doesn't know how to treat you, and you have to set rules in place to keep her in line. It's not healthy for either of you. Do you still have sex? He says yes. I would say we average about the same as before. I discovered her cheating. It took a long time for us to start having sex again though. So, you know, if she was really sorry, she'd be riding you like a bunny for the rest of your life until you're in the grave. So it just sounds like she has very limited sexual desire for you, and that hasn't changed after the affair. Some people say, oh yeah, after the affair our sex life went out because we realised how much we love each other and we saw how crap other people were, and it just made us more desirable to each other. But it doesn't sound like that's happened here. It still looks like this is the most damp squid of a relationship. And this guy wants to stick around for it because he probably doesn't feel like he deserves any better. He probably has some trauma that he needs to oversee and get over because, yeah. Did you go to couples counselling? He says yes, 2 sessions. That dude didn't like me very much. She went to a therapist by herself for a while. usually when you go to a therapist, it's a woman, um, and the woman obviously always supports the other woman and makes the man look bad. But it sounds like they actually had a male therapist who didn't like him either. Maybe that shows that this guy's just not very likable, or it shows the male therapist is a bit of a lefty and he likes to support the women, maybe even fancied your wife. So yeah, I don't think couples counselling is going to help this. She's a liar, and you obviously have some previous issues and maybe some tragedy in the past. So you both are just broken at this point, and yeah, I don't think there's saving either of you. But she goes to a therapist by herself. Again, is she still going to a therapist? It shows maybe she's not exactly happy like you think she is. And I'm sure the female therapist she's going to is probably telling her how she should leave this guy behind his back. Final part, pretty much no one knows about this except for you, so it's nice to write it out. Okay, so he doesn't know, he doesn't have any close friends, no male friends to talk about, to vent. Sounds like this guy might be a bit of a recluse. People don't seem to like him. His wife doesn't like him. The therapist doesn't like him, and he's got no close friends or family to talk to about this. And the place he comes to vent is Reddit. Like, bro, this is just this is an absolute mess. But hey, if he's happy, she's happy. You do you. But this is just so simple. If someone cheats, end the relationship. Don't worry about the consequences. Don't worry about the divorce costs and how much of a headache it will be. Just move on and start something fresh with someone who thinks the world of you. But yeah, this guy, I think he's got a lot of issues, and hey, maybe he deserved it. Anyway, that's all, guys. Cheers. See ya.